Sarah, what have you done?
Kerrigan, the die is cast. This is the last day. Your swarm darkens the sky of any planet.
Forget Minsk. Forget all of it.
When we are done here, I will return to my people and accept their judgment.
Command, we've found Kerrigan. She's holed up in a Zerg base.
I made my peace long ago.
Consider it done. For ire. Indeed.
Mobile games are going.
All right, welcome to our Code S Plus semi-finalists. We have here for everyone Harouz and Neutrophil. Welcome.
Hello, hello.
Hi.
So, you've both been very dominant players. Harouz, you were able to defy the odds, beating Vale earlier in the week. Both of you have also been fighting through some very busy schedules and some very bad internet, correct?
Yeah, true. Yep.
Now, for those joining us, this is going to be a really interesting day. We are going to be doing the quarterfinals and the other semifinals as well. And there's a bit of a family feud pattern going on here. We have Harouz and Lighthood, and we've also got KJ Freedom, Neutrophil, and Dark Menace all thrown into today's matches. So I think we've got two houses that will be battling each other and maybe even amongst themselves. So this should be very interesting. Some people might not know it wasn't always the fun Star League. Originally, my understanding is this started as the Family Star League, and it was a lot of the family members, the Psystorm Gaming people, and it kind of expanded and expanded. So I like to think of this coming back to the roots just a little bit. Now, Neutrophil, you haven't gotten to see you play as much. You wrapped up your games a little bit earlier, and also we haven't really been doing. We've only just been getting to the Code S matches. We've kind of been working our way up from Code B, so haven't seen you in a little while. How have you been? How's your StarCraft been?
I've only been able to play really the past couple days. I've been having a lot of mouse issues, but I got some solid practice in, I think.
Cool.
But yeah, it has been a while. Maybe a little rusty. We'll see.
We will see. And Harouz, we've been seeing you in action very recently, not just in Code S Plus, but also 2v2 Plus. So, I mean, at the very least, you're warmed up.
Yeah, I actually play daily, to be honest.
Yeah, hey.
I'm always warmed up.
Not bad. I get something in every day, but I think it's more co-op and teams more often than 1v1, so, that's just me. But I have also been doing some upgrades to my computer, got a brand new video card, and a new webcam, so you can see the lighting from my toy pylon/USB charger all the better. So I'm going to be hosting this, hopefully a little bit more smoothly than last time. Harouz, you were in the party for a moment, but then it looks like you left it. Do you have to reconnect? While you're doing that, I'm going to take a quick look at the maps. This is semifinals. This is best of 5. We'll be doing Dragon Scales, then Altitude and Neo-Humanity, and then possibly Royal Blood and even Ancient Cistern. So this, good variety of the maps here. And I'm going to try inviting you again. Alright, so I know both of you, tight schedules, different parts of the world. I'd say we should probably just get going. All right, everyone's in party. Let's do this. Good luck, have fun, and glory to your family, whichever family I'm referring to.
Look, thank you.
What time, I believe, Dragon Scales? Yes, indeed. These are both very skilled and experienced players here. And, yeah, Neutrophil, well, he's been getting college going. I remember that. And I remember many a joke about, so, how many of your quote-unquote 4 years have you finished at this point? Spectator. All right. Neutrophil is ready. Oh, and here, let me adjust this too. Okay. We are ready to go. Code S Plus semifinals.
So Hyper Turtle is a
Yes,
PvP
indeed.
match.
It is indeed, which is going to make it very hard to call. There's likely going to be a lot of differences in build early on when it comes to PvP. You know, it's going to be very important how many gateways they start with, whether they go Robo,
All right,
Twilight.
let's do it.
Oh, yeah. Or Stargate. And here we are. In the lower left, we have the pink Protoss, and he is
Neutrophil.
And his opponent, the blue Protoss. He is called
Harouz.
Don't forget your overlay.
So, overlay. Oh, okay. I thought. All right, here. Yep. All right, so Neutrophil doing the first scouting here. Starting pretty closely, although we got Harouz doing double gas. That's the big difference here. I mean, it's probably a little bit more of a tech build. Probably not simply going with gateway. Nope. Although, as always, he does double up. Big difference being Neutrophil is walling off the natural, where Harouz is walling off the main, and Neutrophil, conspicuous probe here, probably trying to delay the first Nexus expansion.
Yeah, if you want, I can observe and you can follow me. That way you can focus
Sure.
on talking.
Yeah, that's fine. Here.
I think it might be number 3 or 4.
Yeah, let me see. I think number 3.
Whatever's...
Yep, that is
cool.
you.
See, it's different. Alright, cool.
Okay. All the simpler. Now, no pylon block just yet. That's interesting. There's some obvious differences, but what they have available is pretty much the same. Citadel just finishing for Neutrophil and now finishing for Harouz. And look at that probe just dancing behind the minerals. And then another one dancing at his own natural to make sure there isn't another probe that gets in the way. So I think these adapts are going to take care of the probe. But if it gets a pylon down early,
yeah, you know, I don't like what Neutrophil is doing. Although Harouz bailed him out, because he's hiding behind the minerals, right, to see if he expand. But then the problem with that is you don't see what comes out of the gateways. But since Harouz bailed him out by showing that he has a depth, he could have just snuck up there. He could have snuck up and not seen it. And so that's to me that's a big mistake.
Is that a full wall back home for now?
So Neutrophil just closed it with a shield battery, which you can easily cancel. You have plenty of time.
That's the adepts aren't there just yet, but it was interesting. The moment he saw those adepts, canceled.
Yeah, he closed it early because he doesn't want to look. He doesn't want to look. He wants to keep macroing. So that's a good trick for you guys out there. If you don't want to look, just do it because you can always cancel it later.
Absolutely. Adepts, of course, they can shade through units. They cannot shade through structures. There they are, making themselves very conspicuous. And a third temporary shield battery. Oh, look at that. One probe does go down.
There. Yeah,
yes,
he kills a free. He gives him a free probe. We shouldn't have gotten any, but he gave him one.
So Harouz is going with Twilight Council, whereas Neutrophil almost has his robotics facility done. Now, this is interesting because as long as he keeps those shades there, Neutrophil can't really move out, either to attack or to expand.
Yeah, Neutrophil just kind of lets it finish.
Mm-hmm. Oh, now he's got a couple of stalkers on the other side, so the Adepts are going to head home. And Neutrophil just starting his Twilight Council. There we go, chasing after the actual Adepts. The shade does not finish, so I think one of them will go down. Yes, it will.
Whoa.
Other one is probably going to be able to shade out of there.
Yeah, a little bit of a miss micro there from Neutrophil. I think he could have gotten at least one more shot, but...
A little bit of lag here.
I think we are getting some lag. That's probably explains why.
Well, number one, I think both Harouz and... oh, okay. Harouz and Lighthood have been having some internet issues back home. Meanwhile, Neutrophil is playing off a college internet. So I do not need to say more there unless it's a major tech school. Let's just see. So far, neither of them has really made a dedicated move. If those Adepts had gotten in, they might have been able to kill a few more probes and get a better look around what's happened. But so far, they're just kind of face-to-face with each other.
Yep.
Okay. Countdown. There we go. Alright. Neutrophil making his way through his own shield battery. Got a good 6 stalkers out on the other side of the map for Harouz.
Yeah. You know what? Harouz's macro is so good, or at least maybe Neutrophil is kind of falling behind. He has a 7 war per lead, which is huge at this part of the game.
Yeah, college will do that to you. You know, when I was first starting college, I kind of
lose 15 probes.
You never know, but I mean, yeah, Harouz 8 probes ahead now, about even on the army count. So if these armies go head to head, this could be trouble. And look at that! Finally gets an Adept in. I don't think it's going to do too much damage, but it's going to get a look at all the tech.
Yeah, Neutrophil looks a little off, man. He's not actually making probes either, even though he had the money during this whole time. That explains why there's a 12 worker lead besides, obviously, this pesky Adept.
And I think also that those Adept shades, they were a real distraction. He kept having to keep an eye on when to cancel and when to replace the shield battery. So it's just those little things. Sometimes, even if the Adepts don't get any damage done, just the fact that they're there in your opponent's mind can be a big deal. No one wants 2 Adepts in their mineral line, ever.
Yeah.
Here we go. How many, it's a total of 10 stalkers on, however, 8 stalkers in the mortal and shield batteries from the other side, so these are going to pretty much even out with Defender's advantage. Okay, and there we go. Harouz just took his 3rd, and Neutrophil about to follow. When I first started college, I was playing infocom games like Zork and Planetfall, so stuff that didn't require a lot of practice. And I got to admit, those are complete text-based games, and yeah, I'll admit, almost I was constantly looking at the hints book.
Not as challenging as SC2?
You know, it depends. I mean, there definitely wasn't a lot of player versus player with those.
Yeah, this is a huge lead for Harouz, man, economically, for sure. And he's even caught up on the army size.
Now, it's interesting because the supplies for army, yeah, they're staying even. But I think Harouz is going to be able to shoot ahead pretty soon. He also probably going to get the tech advantage. I don't think he's going to be doing a lot of Storm, but he is probably going to be adding Archons to the mix. And Zealots are going to have charge any moment, too.
Yeah, even now you can see Neutrophil isn't making workers consistently, so that is his big problem right now. I don't know if that's just a college thing or what.
I don't know. It's always my problem. It was tricky. Oh, and look at this. Look at this. There are 2 adepts that just got warped in there, just keeping Neutrophil busy. Here we go. Neutrophil bringing a drop of his own to the other side. Curious what kind of use this would be, but Neutrophil lost 13 probes. He is, like, I think less than half the probe count now. This is not good for him.
Yeah, he lost so many workers, and now it's his turn for revenge, but he needs to kill a lot more.
Yeah, he's going to have to really even this out. Fortunately, Harouz's army is out defending against his. Shield overcharge. And on the upgrades, they do...
but his adepts aren't shooting anything.
Right, he's not paying attention to them. They're attacking buildings, which they do not do a lot of damage against. Both of them have Blink. However, this army from Neutrophil actually is getting quite a bit of work done itself.
It is. He's got a nice army here. Great micro as usual, but his macro and attention to multitasking detail here is the only thing that's keeping this...
Alright, the Zealots coming in. They are evening things out, helping to clean up. And we have Stalkers taking out the Adepts too.
Yep, these Adepts...
Look at this, on the other side of the map, Neutrophil's losing probes too.
Yeah, I think he's dead. He's just lost too much.
16 workers
he's way,
to
way
36.
behind.
Yeah, I mean, he got the better of that fight, but in the end, Neutrophil just has Harouz has the economy to recover from it. He doesn't. 21 probes going down for Harouz. And Harouz is moving the probes back to the individual mineral lines, still doing some cleanup. That's the annoying thing about Adepts. Yeah, even more speed loss being warped in to Neutrophil's base.
Yeah, it's a nice amount of worker kills, but you know, it's mostly because he stopped making workers, right? If he made workers, he would have 20, 37 versus 35 or something.
The old Alpha Star strategy, make sure you have workers to spare, right?
Always make workers non-stop.
Oh, yes.
You're timing. Oh, and there's a nice kill with that prism.
That will buy him some time anyway. It's one less thing to worry about. But we have 88 supply to 40.
Maybe he'll pay attention to making workers this time because he knows, oh, you know what?
Well, also this is a best of 5, so, I mean, we got that going for him. This can be a warm-up game.
That's true, it is a best of 5, so he's definitely a little bit off, and he cannot continue to play like this if he expects to be back in the finals.
And for the record, the grand finals will be best of 7.
Yes.
So that's going to be interesting. Very different style, especially for those of us who like to try to surprise our opponents with a number of things. Things could even out if you have to make sure that every one of your strategies works. But yeah, I give a lot of credit to Winter and to Vibe as far as their tutorial videos go, where they're just like, keep building workers, even when you're under attack. You want to give a little bit of resources towards workers, not just the defenses. Ooh, and this warp prism, I think, is going to get intercepted right away. Ouch.
Yeah,
not a great way to start the confrontation.
There, but it doesn't really matter too much, fortunate timing or not. He's too far behind.
And here we're seeing something from a while ago, that Archons can squeeze through some tighter building placements these days. Yep, he's going to lose his third. Harouz, meanwhile, is even still building workers himself, so...
Yeah, Harouz is definitely making workers. He's on point right now, so, and he's even going to take a 4th base, but he doesn't need it. He can just...
One of the nice things with Terran and Protoss is you can build workers and army at the same time. Zerg, that I've been focused on a lot lately, you really do have to balance it out. Alright, and here comes some more harassment with all the army up front. However, well... I was going to say, most of Neutrophil's mining isn't the natural, but there are plenty of probes to kill right here. Harouz expanding yet again. Another piece of advice that the YouTubers love to point out, when you've got the League, What you have to do is expand that lead further. Don't always have to end the game instantly, but you got to make sure that you keep moving further
This is
ahead.
a point where, as a player, you're so far behind, you kind of want to play, but it's like a frustrating type of game. You're better off GGing here and just like.
And sometimes you can even use this time to just think about how am I going to play differently next match.
Oh yeah, pretty
other
simple
times
answer
it's
there, right?
a
Just make more workers.
Other times the chance to get it all out of your system and be a little bit calmer by the time the next match starts. You got to know yourself. You got to know what kind of mentalities work for you. So many zealots coming here. Now Neutrophil's army will be surrounded. We'll be seeing the GG in just a moment, no matter what.
Yep. I mean, he was mentioning he has mouse issues, but this is not a mouse issue. This is a keyboard issue.
I think he replaced his mouse. I'm not quite sure, but either way, he said the mouse was dealt with. All right, there we go. Neutrophil taking it in. Now, another trick, especially when it comes to macro, using those control groups, using those camera locations, so you don't have to depend on the mouse as much as necessary. Just making sure that you can keep things building even when your cameras aren't on them. Let's take a quick look at the maps again. Next up will be altitude. We just got some snow over here in Minnesota, so this is going to look kind of similar. Just a dusting, so you got the green out here and there.
Game 2.
Game 2 indeed.
Now he needs to get this. Now, granted, he could lose this and make a reverse sweep, but you don't want to.
It's possible, but
you don't really want that way because game 1 did not go.
No one ever complains. No one ever complains when they get a clean sweep. It's like, but yeah, the first map always sets the tone.
Yeah, he needs to kind of wake up here and have that mechanic down because he has been in all the finals, hasn't he? Except for maybe
a lot of them.
None.
And I mean, he hasn't been doing too bad when it comes to the 2v2s either. All right, in the lower left, we have the pink Protoss. He is
Neutrophil.
And his opponent. Up one map, we have the Protoss in the red, and he is
Harouz.
Make sure you follow my observing.
I am.
Awesome.
It's all yours.
One less thing to worry about.
I was doing little videos though.
Nice.
And yeah, the FSL and Psystorm Gaming logos, are those in a good spot?
Yeah. All of that looks good.
All right. All right, 2 probes passing the night. Neutrophil once again. Scouting a little bit early here. Make sure to switch it to best of 3 with Harouz. Or do I have to do that?
You have to do that. Control Shift 3 will do that, and then Control Shift
there,
1.
I got him. Oh, best of 5 actually. So there we go.
Control Shift 5. Yep. Yeah, it'd be kind of cool if the observer also is, you can see the scoring. As well, right?
It can be tricky. But yeah, one thing I've learned is that the opening part of the match is still important as an observer as it is as a player. There's still a bunch of things that you need to do without thinking about them right at the beginning. Alright, so both of them putting everything up in their main bases. Harouz's probe just kind of spitting on that pylon a couple times. But yeah, there we go. Also, once again, Neutrophil keeping a probe right around the minerals and gas of his opponent. We're still seeing very similar openings. both of them walling off the main this time, unlike last time. Ooh, 2 Stalkers versus 2 Adepts. Adepts on behalf of Harouz. So that's where we're first seeing things diverge a little bit.
Yeah. And Harouz is not blocking the Nexus.
No.
Looks like he doesn't care about that right now.
No, I don't think... Okay, here we go, Adepts.
But he does let him know.
So,
oh, okay, there's an Adept.
Yeah. Voice is recovering a little. I gotta say, I like the liquid NyQuil and DayQuil. A lot quicker working, a lot faster working. Alright, Adepts, yeah, once again, same sort of thing with the shield battery and the shades.
Oh, we can trap these Adepts with a force field and
kill
he
can.
If he wants. But
I mean, he could even, but right now, they're not even quite getting away yet. I think one of them is going to go down, the other one's probably going to escape.
Let's see if he cancels his shield battery. He does. Yeah. Nice job.
I think this stuff is really taxing both their attention at the beginning of the game, too.
Yeah.
I think both of them a little bit delayed as far as their Nexus goes. Twilight Council 3/4 of the way done for Harouz.
Yeah, we are at peak level right now, right? In FSL, so...
We are. This is the kind of thing where any little mistake can be punished, that's for sure.
Ooh.
And just to follow up on what I was saying, yeah, Neutrophil is going to be in the 2v2 plus finals alongside Deepu. So, yeah, he's no stranger to finals when it comes to FSL, that's for sure. And similar to last time, just kind of getting a lot of Stalkers out, not unusual for PvP.
Yeah, so one thing we're seeing concerted effort to make probes this time from Neutrophil, because he's got him in queue.
Well, you
even when the supply blocked.
You notice when you've got all the technology, but not the money to pay for anything. But I think both of them, another thing that's going to be on both their minds is all that drop harass. They were both getting quite a bit done just dropping things into each other's worker lines, so wouldn't be surprised if there's maybe a little bit more defenses going up here, although I haven't really seen them yet. Blink, almost done for Harouz. About 1/4 of the way done for Neutrophil. It's always hard to say like how far along it is, because you never know where the chronos are going to land.
Well, he's going to see it disappear.
Yep.
Well, if he stayed there, but it's pretty obvious his Blink with all these Stalkers, so...
Yeah, I don't think either of them are going to be surprised by Blink Stalkers in the PvP. One thing I did notice, neither of them were really doing anything with robotics support bay. No Colossus, no Disruptors last match. Just some Observers, Immortals. So neither of them were really going for splash damage, aside from the tiny bit that Archons provide. And here we go. Harouz going on the offensive, much like last time. Although I think he outnumbers the Stalkers a bit more this time around.
Oh, Neutrophil did not turn on the Guardian Shield. He could have done that. Until just
he
now.
Did not. Yeah, there we go. I mean, it's still going to pick... Oh!
Yeah.
Okay. Yep, defensive Blink away. He gets the high ground advantage here, but he's going to have to back off. You know, that one Immortal, the Immortal and the Sentry, it's amazing how much those balance things out when the numbers aren't even.
Yeah, 6 Stalker kills on that.
And
versus just 3.
Right, Neutrophil's going to see if he can take advantage of that. He might be able to cancel the 3rd. Oh, no, he turns around, and he's getting a 3rd of his own.
He's playing safe. He does have a deficit.
Right. Harouz is ahead just a few workers. Not nearly as heavy as last time.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we're probably going to be getting to more of the warp and harass portion of the game. Harouz is sending a warp prism across the map right now.
Yep. And Neutrophil stopped probing again, so definitely, something he just neglects to do now.
Yeah, maybe a bit, but another thing is his army has very rarely been back in the main. However, he does have a shield battery and a cannon ready to go here. Oh, turn that immortal around. Yeah, so just having those two defensive structures is going to go a whole long way here. Does he get rid of the Warp Prism? No, he does not. The Warp Prism does get away. It's out of shields, but actually fairly healthy still.
Well, he knows there's charge, so...
He does indeed. And he knows that there's probably going to be more of that harassment coming.
And
yes, right
he has
now.
a new base. But he's not probing again. So...
Right.
There you go. We're definitely seeing a huge weakness. I don't remember seeing such a mistake from him in the previous seasons. So,
well, like you say, if only college taught what was actually important. All right, so both of them I'm noticing are putting down more defensive structures right now. Neither of them really want to leave their mains as vulnerable as they did last time. The way that the way that Harouz's main is set up. That's quite the Sim City. It's going to be very hard to get at the cannon with battery.
Well, plus he's got 2 forges, so he's got the upgrade lead also.
Oh, yeah.
This is looking really good for Harouz, actually.
Right. I know some of the upgrades are cheaper now. Forget if it's...
Oh, yeah? Which one is cheaper?
Shields is cheaper, and so is, I believe, the air armor upgrade. It's weird because, dating back to Brood War, the armor and shield upgrades were always more expensive than the attack. Well, actually, not the armor, but the air armor anyway.
Yeah.
So, I guess the pro players who were on the council were just saying, so why is that? There was never really a reason except it's always been that way. So, same thing with the Spire armor upgrades for Zerg.
Oh, these Archons, are they stuck?
They're in a bit of a bad spot. I mean, usually you want them right with their backs to the Stalkers. Still, they're getting work done. Tiny bit of splash damage that comes out of them. Another one goes down. Yeah, that's Harouz losing a good number of Archons there, but also getting Zealots right into his opponent's natural during all of this.
Yeah, this is not a good fight for Harouz. He
wasn't
lost
a good
quite
fight,
a bit
but
there.
but look at what Neutrophil's losing. During that whole thing, he just snuck a bunch of Zealots into Neutrophil's natural, and
yeah, that's the attention.
Whereas they've both got a lot of defenses set up in their mains. Not so much for the natural for either of them.
Neutrophil has enough here. He needs to go. He has a nice fight, but I have a feeling he has no feel of the game where he has a nice lead of army, right?
Well,
Because typically you should go attack.
He's definitely got the army advantage, and those Archons cost a lot of gas. So I think he is thinking about that. He's moving forward, checking out through the watchtower.
Yeah, he might be going. He has a prism here to help
reinforce. He does have a prism.
He should go.
And meanwhile, though, Harouz is sending more, I think, Zealots out into the mineral lines, so he can't be distracted by this. If he's going to commit to that...
Oh, DTs.
Ooh, DTs, not Zealots. So, yeah, here he is trying to get some cannons up. Now this is distracting right here.
Yeah, he's going to go fight now.
Right, he's building an observer. I think he's made the right decision here. By the time he gets his army back, the damage will have already been done.
He forgot the Guardian Shield.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. Here we go. More damage being done. Bunch of probes actually blocking the ramp to the main.
His army's pretty good, but
it is.
It could be better.
He's gonna be running out of resources soon, though. He does have a lot of gas, but not much in the way of minerals. Actually, same would be set for Harouz at the moment. Actually, all right, he does recall them, so he is going to do some cleanup. Does he have an observer with? I don't think there's an observer with that recall. Ouch. All right, there we go. Now he's got detection. And here, look at this, right away. Well, he's cleaning up the other ones.
That's the thing.
So I think, yeah, this Nexus could be going down. Right? No, they are getting lured in to fight with the Stalkers. They probably would have done better just continuing to batter that Nexus.
Yeah, and Harouz has a 4th base. He's way ahead now.
Well,
you know,
he's
it was
double.
a nice start. It was a nice start for Neutrophil, but you know that Zealot run by to kill a lot of workers.
Right.
And then the DPs was the killing blow.
He's been doing great head-to-head with these fights, but the workers have just been suffering every time there's been a fight. And here we go. The DTs go in there trying to depower. He does take out the work prism. That'll give him less to worry about. And Harouz taking more upgrades.
Yeah, individual fights, he's doing well. It's just the macro state of the game. It's
macro
really
and defense.
Yeah, macro and the a little minor thing in there with the Zealot. I can see that happening to good players.
Yeah.
But neglecting the DT defense, you know, you gotta have multiple observers. That's a big one. You can't rely on cannons. And he did have it in the mineral line of the main, but not in the 2nd or 3rd. And so he pays for it. And a 5th base for Harouz.
Okay. And yep, Lighthood is home, so he will be ready when this match is over. Apparently his cell phone ran out of batteries.
He'll be ready for me.
One would hope. I mean, at least he would hope. But yeah, I was talking with Neutrophil. It's very interesting. This is, all 5 of the players in today's matches are in one of 2 families. So...
And that means 2 points of failure internet connections.
Oh, absolutely.
Well, actually, no.
Actually, 3. Neutrophil's got his college to blame if anything goes wrong here. Look at that. That Nova did not manage to blast.
Why? Did he pick it up by mistake? I think he did.
Yeah, I think so too. I did not see it get destroyed. It's still there. And here come the Zealots. The Zealots are they're cheap and they're numerous. So, I mean, the shield battery that overcharges almost over. That blast took out, I think took out one of his own Archons actually. And that one took out some of his own some probes. So, this is going from bad to worse, I'm afraid. And I think the Zealots are just going to keep flooding in.
Yeah, it's mathematical now. I mean, you just can keep kind of making stuff and trading.
54 supply to 108 with only 32 workers to 81. So even if he does clean this up, which I don't think he will, it's already decided.
Yep, he's just not as sharp, and he's looking like he's going to lose game 2 here. Harouz looks pretty sharp, although we've seen Harouz change form when he lost to Sir Maligant, who was in last place. So, you know, this is a nice improvement for him.
Oh yeah, we have the GG. Alright, 2-0. One more map. If Bruce wins one more map, he takes this, and he moves on to the Grand Finals. Next map will be our odd little map, Neo-Humanity. Alright. Yeah, go ahead and join the lobby. Alright. So yeah, definitely adapting quite a bit from the first match. I think it is kind of interesting. I think the meta all around, from top to bottom, I think players are really learning all around that that during any fight, it pays to just get some Zerglings or some Zealots. We're going to take a very quick break. But yeah, just the strategy of during any fight, no matter where it is, also right-click in some Zerglings or Zealots into one of your opponent's mineral lines, no matter what. That was what Harouz did. And you know, even though it was right next to where the fight was going on, it very much paid off, and that was where everything went downhill for Neutrophil. And as far as Lighthood goes... As far as Lighthood goes, if he wins this next match against KJ Freedom, he will then be taking on Dark Menace for the next semifinals. Okay. All right, we are going.
All right, well, we'll see a sweep, an elimination. We'll see, right?
We might. In the upper left, we have the pink Protoss. He is
Neutrophil.
And in the lower right, we have the red Protoss. Up 2 maps, he is
Harouz.
Now Harouz he's been doing quite the run. Him and Lighthood did not quite manage to move ahead in 2v2+, but his win against Vales, I think Vales, as far as his record went, was very much favored. He was able to get by there. And momentum's a big deal. I mean, when I beat Cyan, that was the first time where I actually thought, hey, maybe I could take this. And I started actually putting a lot more preparation in, and was watching the VODs, and my macro was a whole lot better against Deepu than it was against Cyan. So you never know. There's a lot of boost of confidence involved. There's a lot of just the feelings that you get and how confident you feel going in. Alright, here goes Harouz, and he gets a probe into Neutrophil's main.
Yeah, you can kind of expect that. But Neutrophil, he does this pylon scout, which loses him money, but he wants to be super safe. Because that's the difference in the openers.
Absolutely, although Neutrophil, his probe actually went back, I think, to meet the other scout.
Yeah, he just wanted to see if there's some sort of proxy or whatever.
Now this is a weird little map where there's a potential 3rd or 4th that you can get through a gold wall to reach, and in the middle there is low ground, slow zone, collapsible rocks, and destructible rocks. There's also some high yield gas on the map. Yeah. We don't, honestly, most of the maps in FSL, I haven't seen any of those come into play too much, aside from mining through the gold mineral wall. I haven't seen very many people anyway. Well, or go to the trouble of trying to either open up or close areas in the middle of the map. Usually they just kind of set up some forces at the top of the map, of the ramp there. But it is one of those things where you can basically completely redesign the middle of the map if you want to.
Oh, Hypertroll, we got a proxy here. You know, Harouz has the 2-0 advantage. He's going to go for the kill.
He can afford to take some risks right now. Especially if...
got Twilight, so...
Right, so... Yep, already poking a little bit. And what this does is this also lets him see what his opponent has so far. Ooh, he might... Oh, losing a stalker, maybe even 2 right away. That might hurt... Oh, okay, wow. Yeah, that's going to be that much more limiting. And this is interesting. Harouz is actually going Blink from the Twilight Council, so I think what he wants to do, he doesn't even want to go through the natural. He wants to hop right up through that weird little spot that looks like a ramp, but there's actually a wall there.
Oh, he's walled in, though. The Neutrophil.
Neutrophil is walled in, so that might even stop Neutrophil from defending himself if his troops are all in the natural.
Yeah, and that's the problem. His attention, he makes that wall because he's afraid, and then he forgets because his attention just wasn't there.
Right.
And this Phoenix, sees. Just sees.
Okay, yep. Oh, that is so fortunate for Neutrophil. And now it's 3 stalkers against 2. He sees exactly what's going on. But yes, technically you don't want that shield battery to complete ever. Unless you're really under heavy attack or if you're going air, which neither of them have so far. Nothing but flying hallucinations. All right, here we go. Stalker versus Stalker.
Though.
Yeah, Neutrophil still maintaining the advantage. Successfully moving that really damaged pro... Okay, one Stalker does go down. But yeah, this is... this is going to be interesting. There's... I mean, basically, the Defender is the opposite of Defender's advantage. Because Harouz is closer to a pylon, and it's a fast pylon. And then the closest pylons for Neutrophil are back in the natural, and I guess they are fast pylons because they're close enough to the Nexus. But, yeah, this is going to get very interesting. Harouz doesn't actually have to take this fight right up front where those shield batteries are. If he can get a Observer or even just a Hallucination over, he can blink everything up, but he chooses not to for some reason.
Harouz.
Yeah, I don't think this is going to be advantageous to him at all.
And
he's fighting
shows that he has blink.
right. He's fighting where his opponent has faster warp in, and he's fighting right next to 3 now shield batteries. So if he's going to blink into the main, he's got to do it now. But he's got nothing to get him vision.
Pick up.
Ooh, nice. Yes. Although, I mean, both of them pay for that a little.
Harouz is expanding out of this, so.
Yeah.
But he's pretty far behind because of that.
Yep. Yeah, this is the first match where Neutrophil's really had a worker lead. Not to mention army lead too. Wow, a big army lead. So honestly, Neutrophil, if he goes across the map, he could get a lot done. And here we go through that little slow zone.
Blink. The problem is the lack of blink. So
right. And one thing I will definitely give credit to Neutrophil for throughout these games, his hallucination scouting has been constant.
yeah, if he missed that one, he could have been dead. And he needs to see the DT shrine.
Yep.
Harouz is going to prevent that.
Definitely something you don't want to deal with. And anytime you fight off an all-in, whether it's a cannon rush, anything like that, you usually wonder if your opponent's just going to try to take advantage of all the chaos and just get some DTs in. It is a great follow-up for any kind of rush.
Yeah. And Neutrophil has had the Twilight done, but he hasn't chosen either Blink or Charge just yet.
Very true.
It's in his queue, in his mind. Oh, there it is. Blink, okay. He has a 5-worker lead because of that earlier expansion, but will he keep probing, which we saw his weakness, right?
Right. And preferably... one of them might even be doing an expansion soon. We're going to have to see. Yeah, Neutrophil knows that his opponent probably is still committed to trying to end this game before it gets to the really tier 3 level tuck. I like this. Neutrophil does have an Observer all ready to go with the army.
Yeah, he needs one more, though. You know what happened last time?
I know exactly what happens. Neutrophil also getting a forge up, so we can start adding some cannons here and there, just in case. Both of them
he's going to see this guy. Yep. He's going to reveal the DT tech.
Yes, indeed.
Ooh. All right, Neutrophil is on alert now. He's like, oh.
And this is Neutrophil's chance to really change the momentum. See a couple of Stalkers there, just in case there's a Warp Prism. He wants to prepare for all eventualities, and he does take a third. Meanwhile, Harouz taking down that mineral wall, probably to get a third of his own.
Yeah, he's going to go on the other side for the safer expansion, I suppose, right?
Well, it all depends how you reinforce. Yes. Though, taking the triangle third, whatever you want to call it, is really great if you've got... Well, especially if you've got air units. That's the big thing. And here we go. He's going to be trying probably for a DT drop right here.
Ooh! Did he see that? I think he saw it with the Zealot in the... I
think he did. Either way, he's got Stalkers ready to go. Ooh.
Oh.
Takes it out. This has been a really great start for Neutrophil. As long as he keeps those workers built in. Right now, he's got his Nexus done.
Look at how Harouz catching up. Wow.
Yep, he is.
Worker-wise.
And that's what I was saying. He does have his Nexus of his third ready first. So if he can saturate that quickly, he can maintain this lead. And is that hallucinated Colossus in the middle? I've got to take a closer look.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Might have been a little mistake, and when you make one, you might as well send it. Hallucinated Colossus can be used to give vision and blink your guys up, but I think this one was just kind of there, and so might as well.
Yeah, I would even kill it with a small amount of my army, so he doesn't know my composition.
Yeah,
so and he shows everything.
Well, it walked right up to them, so there you go. Hallucinated Colossus, also nice if your opponent's targeting down your Colossi, but I don't think we're going to be seeing a lot of that here. Yeah, Vales says he's a little bit worried for Neutrophil as far as not taking advantage of this lead. He does have a 10 worker lead, though, so I wouldn't say it's throw-in just yet. As long as he keeps the workers and the army building, and keeps getting some upgrades too. Right now he has +1 attack, whereas Harouz doesn't have any attack or defense upgrades.
He has 3 cannons up here.
Oh yeah,
an overreaction, but he needs one of his third to be consistent.
DTs are, you go down to them anytime. Sometimes you overcompensate for the next one. My friend War Bunnies and I like to refer to that as DTSD. And
oh my gosh, he's got 3 cannons here too. So.
He does not want to lose this to something cheeky. That is absolutely for sure. But
he just needs one more to be consistent at his third.
I would like to see him at least do a little bit of harassment here. Try to build on his lead just a little bit more.
Yeah, he has doubled the army. He should poke a little bit.
And he's also seen his opponent's army multiple times too. So. And here we go. Harouz doing the double forge again. He definitely favors that, and also 2 more robotics facilities. You think I think he might be going for disruptor tech. What do you think?
Yeah, he wants to catch up by throwing disruptors. I would say that's the case. That's how you.
And if there's that's the comeback unit there. You just never know what they're capable of getting done in a very short amount of time. Neutrophil, look at this, almost 50 supply ahead.
Yep, he needs to poke. At a minimum, prevent a 4th base. He doesn't have view if there's a 4th base being taken.
Yeah. Vales said the stream lagged for just a moment for him before he noticed the new worker count. Vales, just let me know, is there any major lag like last time? Because I spent quite a bit of money to make sure there wouldn't be.
No. Your broadcast is much better.
All right, glad to hear it. I've also got it on the top graphic settings too. Neutrophil is heading out now. I love the observer right there in that slow zone. I guess you could bypass it if you took down some of those rocks, but it is interesting.
It is disruptor shot.
Oh, does not hit.
Neutrophil knows. He's like, okay,
and here we
gotta
go.
be careful.
Another disruptor up front. Oh, and he is going to get this 4th canceled right away. This is an intimidating army, like double the army supply, so... I mean... Disruptor hits can change a lot, but he'd have to get quite a few of them. Oh, Neutrophil's going home, too. He saw that the army wasn't as big as his. I think he really could have pushed that.
Yeah, and he's close to maxed out. You want to trade.
Yeah, Harouz is even supply blocked because of that pylon from the 4th as well.
Well, he does have a drop here. Neutrophil did attempt a drop with some Zealots.
And he depowers a bunch of stuff. So I'll take that. Look at that weird little Sim City the Disruptor has to make its way through. It's like a little marble maze there.
Alright, Neutrophil has an extra base. You just gotta secure it, and then if I was him, I would go to attack.
Yeah, I'd go ahead and I would go ahead and take down some of those rocks in the middle too. I mean, I know that warp prisms reduce the need for reinforcements, but I think you'd still have an advantage of just having that little shortcut without having to go through that low ground slow zone. Oh, here we go. Warp. So much for the warp prism. Control. I think Neutrophil's really second guessing himself a lot.
Well, he has a hotkey, so it's obviously going to move first when he moves somewhere. Yeah. So he needs to make sure that that's set back.
We've all been guilty of that here and there.
And he's going to make another one and a disruptor. Harouz's comeback potential here is 5 disruptors. So he can absolutely do it.
If he Right. If he clears out, do disruptors get bonus damage against shields? I forgot.
I don't think disruptors care about your upgrades.
I know they don't, but I'm just trying to remember.
You mean they have bonus damage?
Bonus damage against shields like Widow Mines do. Let me see. There's something on the Kurtisa that does.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Here, SC2 disruptor. But you know what that means, if that's true, is it really does a lot extra against Archons. Detonate. Additional 55 shield damage. So yeah, they're like Widow Mines.
Nice. Okay,
so especially,
here we go.
Yeah, here we go.
Phil needs to be careful with these disruptor
shots. Right. Bunch of cannons and a battery to fall back on.
Oh, but he's the one that gets 3 disruptors.
Yep. Live by the sword, die by the sword. But yes, disruptors are great against Protoss in general, but especially against Archons. But yeah, in the end, it's a matter of numbers. Just matter of greater than, less than. The old mnemonic device of the greater than equal sign always wants to eat the bigger number, right? You remember that one?
Yeah, it's been more than 3 to 4 decades.
Oh yeah, but my wife is an elementary school teacher, so I get reminded of some of those.
Another good disruptor shot.
This match has been taken.
I think so. No need to transition to carriers.
No, but I mean, if you want to go for style points, definitely add a mothership in there.
Yeah, I don't think you need to style when you're doing behind 0-2. So
no,
that win.
And if you got a schedule to keep too.
That's true.
All right, so after this match, I need to step away for less than a minute just to grab something from my wife. Not saying it's over yet, even though it looks like it's over.
Now you can play the intro, I guess.
Yeah, more disruptors going down. Oop! Okay, that was a pretty hit. Maybe too little too late, but I did like that. And look at these zealots just circling those disruptors right away. I do love the SimCity. I do love how the cannon is within range of the area they have to squeeze through.
Yep. And the Neutrophil has 4,000 minerals, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, Harouz did a great job, but that initial rush just didn't work out for him.
We have a series, 2-1.
All right. Okay, we'll step away for just a moment. This, right? Yeah, alright, Alright, let's take a quick look at the maps. Royal Blood is up next. One of the more popular choices.
Neutrophil needs this to force a game 5, and if Harouz takes it, he'll be the first to the semis, or to the finals, right?
We'll find that out. We'll see if there's any more cheese this time. That was just one of those deals where, yeah, it could have gotten a lot. It could have gotten cheese. Right. That was, and that cheese. I mean, it didn't kill a single worker. So. And that's what people like to define cheese, where it's something that depends very, very heavily on the element of surprise as far as whether it'll succeed or not.
All right, let's get the overlay get going,
Oh,
and then
yeah.
good luck, players.
Have fun, players. Royal Blood. In the upper right, we have the now green Protoss. He is
Neutrophil.
And his opponent. In the lower left, the Protoss in the red. He is
Harouz.
Alright. Harouz 2, Neutrophil 1 right now. And Neutrophil definitely sending his probe out a little bit early. Whether that's to detect cheese
Yeah, he does
or...
it every game.
Yeah. He does that every game, and he always likes to do the HF before the GL, just to be different. So it's like
yeah, and
previous...
we see that on Labber when they say HF only, they don't want you to be good luck, they want to win. So he says,
I can sympathize with that, yeah. It's like, no, I still want to be the winner. But I hope you enjoy losing.
Yep.
Correcting that to best of 5. And here we are. Very mirrored, except for the time-ins of their assimilators. Yeah. Pretty straightforward, pretty standard, and very much mirrored between them. And also, like the previous ones, little bit playful around where they're going to be putting down the nexus.
Yeah, one more minor thing while we're waiting is
Sure.
Harouz prioritizes minerals, while Neutrophil already had 6 on gas right off the bat.
Yeah, I did notice there were also some where, where Neutrophil had plenty of gas, but he didn't really have the minerals to take advantage of it. But it's one of those weird things with Protoss. Like, once you do have too much gas, what do? You put down the Templar archives, and you make a bunch of High Templar, maybe change them into Archons, and just keep spending the minerals and the Stalkers and the Zealots.
Yes, sir. And we see Neutrophil prefers double Stalker opener, and Harouz more than once has done the Adepts first.
Yeah, all of them except the one Harouz. Jeez, here we go yet again. That complete wall off with the battery. Just does not like taking chances when it comes to Adepts. You can tell he's lost some matches based on a couple Adepts getting into the mineral end. That stuff sticks with you.
Ooh,
here we
but
go.
Is he going to be able to cancel that shield? Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. He wasn't able to last game. He does cancel it this time, though. It's a weird little thing. Just this brick in the wall that you just keep sort of putting in, taking out. And I think the shades were right-clicked into the main, but the way it works with the control, the interface in StarCraft 2, is if you click somewhere where they can't get, they just sort of go to whichever ledge is closest.
Ooh, Harouz almost.
Yeah.
Shade.
Harouz, I mean, he's definitely lost some of these Adepts when he hasn't had to. Adepts might not scale that well, but any extra firepower you can have a little bit later. I mean, you can even put them into a warp prism. Oh, here we go. The Stalker's right on top of the Adepts right now, after the cancel, I think. Yep. So we've seen this before, where one of them ends up just going down.
Alright, well, we know one Adept is not scary, so... But then, it
Not
does cost
especially.
the damage, all this canceling
Oh, yeah,
shield batteries, and now a finished one.
I mean, definitely there have been a lot more shield batteries that he's had to cancel or kill himself. Gets the Observer out. There's tricky thing with Protoss, there's just so many things you have to account for in PvP. There are quite a few different directions your opponent could go. Now, neither of these guys have gone Stargate at all so far. So that's one thing that they've might be discounted by this point.
Oh, Neutrophil's gonna miss the tech in the back. He doesn't send it. The Yeah, he's gonna miss it completely.
Yeah, I mean, granted, neither of those are things that will probably be surprising to see. And there's that one adept you were talking about. It does kill a probe. And then there it goes. That is another look at his opponent's army, though. And yeah, here we go. Extra... He does have an extra observer this time around. He's going to keep one with his army, send the other ahead. Yes, indeed.
That's what you like to do, right?
I prefer that, yeah. I prefer sending my first one to scout, actually, and then, yeah, keeping another one with the army, especially if I'm going robo. And yeah, it doesn't hurt to even just have one that's locked in place somewhere where you think it'll be a popular spot to drop or harass. And here we go. Now that probe is just kind of tailing the enemy army, lagging behind them. So we've seen a lot of this. We've seen a lot of these early Stalker versus Stalkers, with Harouz being the aggressor.
Oh no, not a good fight. He has Blink and he doesn't.
Yep, and then there's
no shield battery here at the bottom.
No shield battery, and I don't think he even has the energy for Guardian Shield right now after that last hallucination.
Yep, but he does scare him off, though. So he doesn't admit.
Both these guys have been very good at intimidating each other. We've seen a lot of times on both sides where they've moved out and then thought better of it.
Neutrophil stopped probing again, and now he's down by 10 workers.
Yeah. Alright, and there's that...
He just now resumes it, but, you know, so it's one of those things where you can actually do it while doing other things.
Absolutely.
It's not like Zerg.
I think a lot of... Well, I mean, even with Zerg, no matter what you are, you definitely want to have your town halls, your main buildings, on a control group so that you can keep making those even when you're not looking at your own base.
Yeah.
Even in the middle of a fight, you want to keep those workers making... There we go. Harouz again.
I guess my point is the pause in Zerg is because should you make army or workers? With Terran and Protoss, you can keep making it. Don't worry about it unless you're broke or you're doing a timing attack.
Not to mention the occasional overlord you also need to remember. And it's like, okay, now I can build workers. Wait, no, I can't. All right, here we go. Harouz, I think overall, in all these matches, has very much been the primary aggressor throughout. Now, these Petrolean Stalkers did not see the Warp Prism.
He didn't.
And here come a lot of Zealots. They do have charge. So he's going to... Okay, good. Shield overcharge. That's going to minimize the damage.
Yeah, good handle here.
Yeah, not a bad cleanup. Alright. Right now, again, Neutrophil not making probes at the moment. And that Warp Prism, however, it's going to stay there. It's going to make sure that Neutrophil knows that's still a threat.
Yeah, Neutrophil is adding extra cannons. He's just not confident in his defense like he usually is, right? So that's a good move.
And I mean, I remember quite a bit of that last match too. He does not want to lose just based on some units getting into his minerals.
Yeah.
And here we go. This one's going to be a little bit more visible. I think, yeah. Harouz realizing just how many Stalkers there are around that Warp Prism immediately takes it out of warp-in mode.
71 to 59 workers. Woo.
Yeah.
That is.
And, I mean, once again, though,
we're not doing anything.
It's interesting, though. Neutrophil, once again, decent army lead, but I think he's had a lot of times where he just hasn't been making use of the army leads, even when he has had that. Oop. Zealots just hopping right in, seeing if they can cancel. Oop. Warp Prism does not get any more done near the Stalkers. Oh, and there's the Blink. Takes it out, so...
That's good news for Neutrophil, but...
Right. Immediately, Harouz starts making another one to replace it. And Harouz
also has the upgrade lead, too, man. Two forges versus one,
and
so...
getting quite a few cannons down in his third. So, he's in a pretty good spot right now.
Indeed.
And all the meanwhile, I think just Harouz has very much been controlling what's been going on in the game. He's the one who's had more map presence. He's the one who's usually been making the first move. And
Yeah,
I mean,
he's improved quite a bit over the season has gone through. I mean, when I first faced him and watched him, right, I would have ranked him like third or fourth Protoss. Obviously, he's top 2 right now. It might even be the number 1 if he beats him here.
We'll be finding that out soon enough. Yeah, him and his brother have definitely been very motivated by this. As they've said, not a lot of LAN parties going on in Algeria that they've been able to find. But they've definitely been...
Alright, big attack here. Lots of Archons.
Here we go. Yep, also lots of Immortals
battery here.
on the side of Neutrophil.
No shield battery.
No shield battery.
Man, he needs it.
Neutrophil would have been really great if Neutrophil could have moved up and had a little bit more of a high ground advantage. Right now, he's only going to be fighting with units that are already all the way up the ramp.
Yeah,
here we go. Shield battery is complete. Yeah, I think that would be his best bet. That's also going to keep the opponents from retreating.
Oh, yeah. He has the better army.
Better army, and I'd say better positioning as well at the moment, although he does get driven back. He remembers the Guardian Shield. Here we go. About 20 army advantage on behalf of Neutrophil. He can maybe blink forward a little and pick off... No, they are back. They are back to the batteries and the cannons now.
Yeah.
And look at all this time up in the north. Here come the Zealots again. I mean, there are cannons there, but
recall. Go back and clean up first here.
Yeah, just quickly. He can't afford to fall further back.
I think he can actually fight this base here, but he doesn't know that.
He could.
So,
some robo units would be really great just for cleaning up. Oh, Dark Templar, Dark Templar, Dark Templar, Dark Templar, Dark Templar. That is 10 Dark Templar, all swiping at the Nexus at once. They snipe it. And all but one of them get recalled. That was a big win for Neutrophil. Even if the head-to-head army didn't work out, once again, he was able to punish right at the expansion, right at the worker line. Neutrophil, in just a moment, that probe is going to see the warp prism.
I thought it was canceled. He was gonna make something and then canceled it.
Right,
so
that would have
had luck there for him.
Yeah, that would have at least given him an idea what he was looking at.
Supplies are still close enough that this is still a game, but 2-2 lead on the upgrades versus just +2 for Neutrophil.
Right, and that armor isn't going to affect the Archons much, but everything else.
And look, base.
I mean, on top of that, Harouz also has a lot more defenses at his expansions too. Whereas most of Neutrophils are pretty open, and that's what he took advantage of there. I've noticed that Neutrophil, he's been putting a bunch of defenses on his main since the first game, but not really on his natural.
Okay, come back. Disruptors are here, and a prism drop.
Here we go. Yep.
There's one.
It's his turn to try to do some damage.
He doesn't micro it.
Right.
And
he
does.
Immediately drawn towards the cannon, which has a shield battery next to it. So that's not gonna be as good for him. You want to focus down either workers or pylons, really.
And I think his prism went. Oh, he left with his prism. 10 workers killed. Alright. Now he's only down by 9.
I mean, yeah, the game definitely isn't over. He needs to keep this kind of thing from happening. Those Dark Templar, even when they are detected, they can be very good at sniping some of the sides of a Nexus.
Yeah.
Oh, and he heads out again. Once again, the Dark Templar heading right for the Nexus. Sword surrounding it. And it goes down
okay,
to
Neutrophil's gonna go for it.
Yep,
he's just gonna go for it.
That's really the only shot he's got. He does have a very notable army advantage. And if he targets the right thing, if he controls this right, he can still take this. Ooh, disruption. Took out at least a Zealot and a Stalker, and did damage the shields and a lot of other stuff. There we go.
He shot.
Zealot's taken down.
He has the army lead still. He actually can keep fighting.
He needs to continue this push. That is his only chance. He needs to use this advantage while he's got it. And here we go. There's Dark Templar coming around the other side, and I was going to criticize him backing off like that, but actually that worked out pretty well for him.
Yeah, these DTs are really just to kill bases,
right.
So they're freebies. I don't
like
this move for Harouz.
And they're not surviving afterwards either. That's the big thing.
Yeah, he's not getting any value.
All right, he needs to get all of these guys up the ramp quickly so they can all attack at once.
There is a lot more Archons for Harouz here, but there are disruptors. Gotta watch out for.
Yeah. I mean, and that's where a lot of it's gonna lie. That disruptor got destroyed before the Nova went off. There, excellent hit there. Neutrophil still in the lead with the army, backs off, loses a disruptor and an Archon, maybe some other stuff too. And those Archons are what ended up holding.
And he has the gold. If he can mine and secure this gold.
Yeah, he is transferring right now. Not that many gold minerals there, but there's, any gold minerals is nice.
Yeah.
Still has the army lead. It would be so great if he had
a good port game, man.
I mean, they both got a lot of the bank. I would really like to see a warp prism there with Neutrophil.
Yeah, he needed
the instant
a warp
reinforcements, are just what the doctor ordered.
He's prioritizing disruptors with the warp prism. That's probably why.
Yeah, I think so. More Archons getting set up from him. He needs to keep the pressure on. He cannot let Harouz take advantage of these extra bases he has.
Harouz has a nice upgrade lead, 3-3-1 versus 1-2. So
one thing I'll say, the worker lead isn't nearly as bad right now, and there are defenses in all of Neutrophil's bases. He takes the lower right corner too, and he's gonna get this base canceled as well. So Neutrophil hanging on.
He is. Now it's about the disruptor shots here.
Very much so. The disruptor shots.
Can he lure him in here to these disruptor shots?
And the blinks too.
He's gonna back off.
They both have disruptor tuck. And here come even more Dark Templar.
Look at all these Dark Templars on the top.
Yeah, I don't know.
Bases.
I think these Dark Templars have been a little bit too much of an investment. I think he'd be better off at this point, after those initial snipes, just to turn them into Archons.
And the distraction.
It is, yeah.
The distraction.
Very much functioning there. Ooh, but look at those Novas.
Oh, the miscontrol in the Novas.
Oh man. Yep.
Neutrophil had a nice shot there, but he miscontrolled
on both
the Novas.
sides. Oh man. These Archons, he's got to take care of them. Dark Templar continuing to wreak havoc everywhere.
Army lead still.
Absolutely, he is. 27 supply. They're both losing so many bases. Now, a remaining base for Neutrophil, though, for Harouz, though, just happens to be a gold one. I mean,
yes, sir.
Those gold minerals are going to run out, but for now, he can just keep adding more and more zealots to everything. And he's got the warp prism.
The money.
Yep.
He should pump out a ton of cannons at this point.
I mean, he's got the minerals. He's got the minerals. It's gas he's starved for. He can add a whole lot of zealots, and I mean, they both got enough pylons to at least nearly max out. So, I would love to see some zealot harass here with the amount of money he has.
Cannons,
there
more
we go.
Cannons. He got so much money.
Yep. Just spend it.
He could,
as they say.
He could force,
okay, start warping in. Start warping in. Gotta start warping in from that warp prism. He's got the money. He can just keep these.
He's getting really distracted by this army here.
It is a headache.
And it's all because of this prism on the top left that's been there the whole game.
He hasn't really tracked down. I mean, he does have more bases to move to. If he just gets a good number of cannons and batteries at each of them. One tip is you put some cannons and batteries right next to the Nexus. That's that much less area that Dark Templar can try to reach it out.
Yeah. Neutrophil has stopped doing upgrades.
Yeah, seems that way.
Stuck at 2-1.
Harouz at 3-3-1. Neutrophil at just 2-1-0. And still, he's got a bit of an army advantage, but it's starting to dwindle. And he needs to use that warp prism during these battles too. He needs to keep replacing zealots as it's going on.
And it sounds like we're both rooting for a game 5 here. It can happen. He has a small lead, except for the upgrades.
Yep. I love a good game 5. I'll definitely say that.
Yeah, we always like game 5.
Here we go. Here comes the clash. I think it's
Neutrophil can see
5
the whole
disruptors for Harouz.
Here it is.
So if he's gonna take this, he's gonna want to really pay attention to those disruptors. Back off or be ready to snipe them before the Novas go off.
Harouz was not ready for. It's all about the disruptor shot.
All the zealots for Harouz are on the low ground, leaving the disruptors vulnerable. Excellent blink. There we go. Now he just has to try to keep these zealots off him. And he must have lost the warp prism.
And look how many freaking observers there are here.
There's probably more observers than there have been DTs at any point. That's redundancy for you.
I think we're gonna get game 5.
I think we are. 20 army supply to 103. That is the epitome of a game-ending ratio there.
Oh my god.
There we go. All right, then. Well, Neutrophil definitely reaching his comfort zone over the last couple matches. All right, maps. The final one will be Ancient Cistern. So if anyone's thirsty, this is your moment. Yeah, that was just a lot of stuff out of position in that last matchup. The majority, all the zealots went down the hill to take on part of the army, but the other part of the army was just able to pick apart and snipe those disruptors before they were able to fire. Beware the Capey boys. Alright. You're going to lobby right now. UMW cross country, huh? Neutrophil always competitive, no matter what he's doing. Alright. And both these players have brothers who are going to be playing sometime soon. Alright, we are ready to start. And yep, I'm going to switch the overlay. Yeah, I think both of them have places to be. So yeah, they're going right into this. They want to finish it. I want to see how they go about this, whether they're going to be going with those standard builds they've done most of these matches, or if someone's going to try something really sneaky, if they're just a little bit too worn out to want to keep going with this. Now, in the upper left, we have the green Protoss. He is
Neutrophil.
And his opponent, the blue Protoss. He is.
So, admittedly, I was rooting for Neutrophil to, come back, right? But now that it's game 5, anything goes. We're happy for a nice series.
Right. This is going to be the decider no matter what, unless they have a tie, and we have not had many of those in FSL.
Yeah, and Harouz, in the beginning of the match, I would have said 3-1 Neutrophil, but Harouz showed that he was the superior player in almost all the games, right?
Well, what he's definitely been no matter what, aside from generally being ahead in economy, he has been the player who's decided what kind of game is being played. Whether rushing or whether doing the initial lag. Whether doing the initial stalker push, he's decided what kind of match it'll be. And Neutrophil has been the one who's had to adjust and answer to it. And as it's gone on, Neutrophil has gotten better at that. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I just gonna remind because Harouz needs to make sure that he asks for a pause if he has an issue.
Yeah. So he says he's cool.
Okay.
So it's interesting. We
It's
haven't.
game 5, man. I want to make sure that he's in good shape.
Yeah, we
It's
don't
game
we
5,
don't
right?
we don't want anyone to have any excuses here. But an interesting thing is just seeing if we can have a match where Neutrophil is the one who makes the first move. I don't think that's really his style. I think he wants to fight off the first attack before he makes his move.
He's like stats. He just wants to play defense.
Exactly, and he has gotten increasingly defensive with each of these matches. As far as, and I just have a feeling that after all those Dark Templar Nexus snipes, we're probably going to be seeing even more defenses this time.
And
No one
Neutrophil's
likes to see 10 Dark Templar all hacking away at your Nexus at once. It's just unpleasant.
Yeah, it'll be nice. The last game was actually pretty good. It went back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
So the last thing we want is like a DT shows up and ends the game.
Pretty much. Well, the DT there, it was interesting. They got a lot of damage done, but they also didn't stick around afterwards. It's like the...
You were right though, Hyper Turtle. It felt like he was throwing away DTs in the last game.
Those DTs weren't there for those final battles. And I guess if they had been and hadn't been made into Archons, there was more than enough observers there.
Could be trapped, man.
Yep, this is a pattern we've been seeing in the previous matches. One Adept either being trapped or hunted down. And there we go. One of the things is, these Adepts haven't really gotten a lot done any of these times, or even been able to make it into the main base often to get a look at what kind of tactic they were dealing with. I mean, granted, not a huge investment though, so...
It's really just odd that they're, both of them are opening the same game almost, except for that one cheese game, right? Where it's double Adept, double Stalker, and no Stargate.
Right, little bit of a late Nexus. Not a single Stargate, I think, any of the 4 previous games.
Yeah, it's really odd how they're playing like that. I guess they just don't want to take risks and they want to do what they do best, except for that one all-in that Harouz got out of.
And that one still blinked Stalkers, so when he transitioned out of it, it still looked about the same.
That's true. He didn't commit, and he expanded when he knew, it's not going to work, right?
A lot of Protoss players like to at least have one Void Ray to kill some Warp Prisms here and there, or even just mixing in and doing some extra damage against Stalkers. And or honestly, if you get enough air units out as Protoss versus Protoss, if your opponent doesn't have air units of their own, they have a really tough time chasing down. Yep. Didn't lose the sentry.
Harouz favors the blink, that's for sure.
Yeah, and I think they've both made really good use of blink here and there. Yeah, defensively and offensively.
So here's the problem for Harouz, right? He has the edge the first 2 games. Even in the 4th game, it felt like he had the edge. But the momentum, which is what you talked about, it has changed.
I think game 3 and 4, both times he kind of ran out of gas a little bit. He had a strategy that was difficult to transition out of, whether it was that initial rush or the game after that, the focus on those Dark Templar snipes. That's one of the things. Sometimes it's tricky to decide exactly when to switch it up.
And both of them scout pretty well. Neutrophil sends the Phoenix, the hallucinated Phoenix, consistently. And Harouz, he's had in the last game he had an observer right and smack in the middle,
just hovering there the whole time.
Yeah, so these guys are both really good at scouting.
Yeah, they know what they're comfortable with, and they're both pretty reactive players too. Even, I mean, their strategies don't change too much.
Said that actually.
Yeah.
Let me correct it there. In the beginning, all I saw from Harouz was crazy Stalker aggression. Remember when he played these guys?
True.
But he's well-rounded now.
Yes, he's been mixing things up a bit.
And that's probably why he's
Here we
much better.
go.
His
And
MMR probably went up quite a bit. What do you think?
I think it has been. We can ask him before we get into the matches involving you and Lighthood. But yeah, very much same sort of thing. Little poke with the stalkers, followed by a warp prism.
Look at this observer by Harouz. That's so funny. Reminds me of the ones that they do against Terran.
Oh yeah. Now, so far, he hasn't moved in with the warp prism. He might be waiting until like his next push.
You know, Harouz's macro is pretty amazing because Neutrophil has had this Nexus ahead for a while, and they're even in workers pretty much.
Yeah. Neutrophil, when he takes his third, it does take him a while to saturate it. Alright, here we go with the warp prism. We'll see how Neutrophil reacts.
Oh, very slow here.
Heads up, and yeah. Oh boy. Can he get it? Can he get it? Oh, not quite.
Oh man, that would have been disaster.
Yeah, no, good thing. Now he can put them down again right here. He can get some stuff done. He's probably going to want to move those probes closer to the shield battery. It does go down, although after already dropping off the zealots.
Yeah, definitely not a good fight there for Harouz. A little bit of nerves here for him.
Oh yeah. Well, this has got to be. Both of them have to be shaken a little bit. There's a lot.
Yeah. I think Neutrophil was shaky the first 2 games, but it seems like he's settled a bit.
Exactly. I think he's gotten a little bit more comfortable. He's found some stuff that work, even if his opponent manages to really upset him. He has been winning in the end these last 2 matches.
Hey, that's a good point, because those DTs, the mass DTs killing Nexuses 3-4 times in the last game, that's upsetting.
Right. And sometimes you get a little tilted. Your first instinct is like, all right, heck with this. Let me just send everything over and just see if we can just get this over with before I have to deal. Now he did a great job just setting Nexus up in other spots in the map. I thought that was a really good move.
Yeah, this game can go either way still, just like the last one. So
Harouz just a little bit ahead in workers here, but once again, Neutrophil ahead in army. And I'm curious what'll be warped in here. What structures do we have? No DTs tech just yet.
Yeah, no DTs just yet, but nice double upgrades for Harouz here.
Yep. Yeah, the double forge has been something that the most recent patches have made a lot more tempting.
A scouting zealot here for Neutrophil.
I like that a lot. There we go. They're both taking their fourths. Harouz once again on the offensive.
Yeah,
and yep, that's zealot. That's zealot right there. Gonna see what's going on.
You need help, boys.
As his body is warped back to the command ship. All right, here we go. Neutrophil's army isn't quite together good. He backs them up so they can all group up, take advantage of the high ground. The Guardian shield goes up. This is good for him.
It's not a good fight for Harouz. He needs to get home. ASAP.
Right. One of the Archons gets surrounded and taken off. And yep.
Run through.
Same sort of thing as before, but this time, yeah, 2 cannons there. And the recall. So there was a lot of potential damage that was neutralized there, or neutrophiled.
It's hilarious, man. 5 cannons.
Exactly. It's a bit much, but you know the way that Harouz plays, I think it might be the right call. Maybe a battery next to each, 1 battery at least. But
yeah.
Okay, here we go. Harouz hitting the same spot again after Neutrophil's army had left the area, and this might be a snipe, especially with the blink there. And by the time they get there, the army might already be backing off. It does.
Yeah, nice move by Harouz.
And look at, a left and a right and a left and a right. Jab to the right, roundhouse to the left, right?
That's a nice cancel considering it was right in your
yeah.
Right there.
I see this in Harouz's team games too, where between him and Lighthood, there is always a snipe or a drop, warp in going on.
Oh, but this fight, Harouz slowly losing army on this fight.
Once again, throughout all of this, there's just more room for Neutrophil to make army. Here we go, Zealot's coming in, but You know, he could probably just overcharge that one battery and then forget the whole thing, right?
Yep, exactly. That's what I do. And Neutrophil backs off, but you know, Neutrophil has become wise to Harouz's strategy here.
Exactly.
You can see him on the new base, lots of cannons right away. He's like, you know what? I don't want to deal with this.
Well, you think about this. If this were a best of 3, it would have been 2-0. But
yes.
best of 5, Neutrophil number 1 has been able to get into the rhythm of this a little bit more, but number 2, he knows what he's up against by this point. You know, Harouz isn't mixing things up that much. And
yeah,
so
you make a great point. He's not mixing, he's doing his style.
This is what's gonna make a best of 7 for the grand finals even more interesting. Yeah, right over the Archons. But they're right clicked. They're right clicked. Kill it! Come on! The luckiest warp prism in the land. Oh, and then it's like, hey, wait a moment. Okay. Oh man, second lease on life, and well, short-lived.
All right. 5th base for Harouz.
Yeah. Harouz.
What a game 6 out of 5.
Once again, like, I had 13 workers, but really, I mean, about 50 behind an army now? And yeah, now Neutrophil Zealots are being more active.
He's way ahead in upgrades again.
Yeah, that's an interesting thing. It's like, Neutrophil has almost always been ahead in army, but not in upgrades, bases, or workers. There he goes, just continues moving. If you, by the way, you want some good tips with transports, if you right-click them along, you can just click on the portraits of the units inside them to drop them while it keeps moving. Very handy.
Yep. He's on the hunt for that prism, but is it a trap?
Yeah,
the main army here.
It's a trap. I cannot do Akbar. Okay, I got to practice on that. You got to do kind of a cheek thing. Oh no, that is a big miss micro. Yeah, if you A-move everything, disruptors do not stop to attack, because all they have is one spell. Here we go there. He's still launching some disruption nodes. Oh, right on the Archons. And this time, he's got the Warp Prism ready to go. He is warping in, reinforcing right there.
This is a dangerous fight for Harouz. He needs to be careful here.
And he's got to keep, blinking a chunk of them backwards. That's one of the few micro things, yeah.
Harouz's upgrades is keeping him here because
yep, it is.
Because his army is inferior, but his upgrades
here
are
come
fantastic.
The Zealots again. That little bit of splash damage from the Archons can go a long way. And the bonus damage from the Immortals. In the end, Neutrophil does maintain his army supply lead.
Yeah, it was very dangerous there. And there's a big run by here of DTs once again.
Here come the DTs again, and they do take down. Now, if those Zealots stay within range of the detection, they can take care of this. No snipe that time.
And Neutrophil replaced that with quite a few cannons again.
Did get some heavy armor damage on the Immortal, but I think he can live with that. Nothing like last match, anyway.
Double upgrades still going on for Harouz, while Neutrophil, with all his money, is still on 1 forge.
Yeah, and also Neutrophil 4 bases to Harouz's 5. And look at that. Look at all those gateways. And here comes the Stargate. Here comes the Stargate.
There you go. Neutrophil needs to get wind of this right away, because if you get caught off guard, you are in trouble.
Right. Stalkers and Archons can only do so much against flyers. And he also needs to probably saturate those gases back home, too. In the natural, anyway. Now, but here's the thing. Transitioning to air units as Protoss is a huge investment. If your opponent hits while you've just started building things...
Good old DTs!
Yeah, good old DTs indeed. Harouz supply blocked, though. That's interesting. When he gets those Stargates done, he's not going to be able to even start anything right away. So we do have a lot of workers going down. The Nexus stays up, though.
The other thing is he spent so much on DTs. That's a lot of gas, man.
Right.
Look at his gas tank.
He's spending a lot on DTs, and, I mean, he's investing in DT Blank and air upgrades. He's got the fleet beacon down, and he has air attack down, too. So if Neutrophil hits him before he actually starts getting a decent number of flying units out...
And he's maxed out, so...
That could be a big one. He is maxed out, so...
Okay, this is
All
very
right, clean up
dangerous
there.
time for both players, man. This is
Very much
really
so.
crucial.
And I think a lot really is going to rely on whether Neutrophil manages to get the kill before the air units get out in good numbers.
There's an observer here to spot the attack.
Yep.
Neutrophil is out of position. What did we
And
do?
still, he's still not moving them yet. There we go. Now they're starting to move. I think Neutrophil should just start setting up nexuses everywhere on the map. You know, you can only just move the workers from one to another if one gets
there
sniped.
you go. He's just going to abandon it.
Yep.
Carriers are coming.
Right. Now, Harouz probably actually even wants to trade some units out right now. There we go.
These
Shield battery
shots
almost
for
spent.
Harouz have been great.
I think Neutrophil, he just struggles a little bit. Oh, that was an excellent one, but...
This is a really bad attack
Harouz,
for Neutrophil.
Right, Neutrophil's disruptors also have a way of ending up on the wrong side of the army, too.
Yeah, and carrier transition is happening now.
For both of them.
Both of them? Oh, yes, you're right.
I wasn't even looking, but yeah, we are going to have a very different, some very different chemistry in just a minute or so.
And in the air, that's where Harouz still has a +1 lead.
+1
He's
attack.
already got that. Yeah,
Not just that, but also +2 shields, which also count towards your buildings, your flying units.
True.
So, and I'd say Harouz also started the transition a little earlier too. Very curious whether we're going to see a mothership from either side too. There's a lot of people are still getting used to those.
Well, you do want to make it anyway. Period.
It does. You know, it could be nice to have, and now that it's a little bit cheaper and a little bit more controllable.
Harouz's bank is very low. I mean, Neutrophil is not high either, but... Oh, and he's going to take this base. This is a big deal. Yeah, he's going to take it and get away. Good feel of the game here for this is a pretty amazing game 5. What do you say, man?
Well, I will say Lighthood says he's getting a little bit tired now.
Wow.
So we'll see.
He wanted to go first, but he wasn't around, so
yeah,
it's a good thing we got this going because TVT is gonna be even longer. Neutrophil's carriers are coming.
All right,
but
here
there's
we
a lot
go.
more carriers here for
Yeah, Neutrophil starting against the rocks.
Oh, beautiful disruptor shot here. Harouz has the edge.
Right. The disruptors can be big difference makers here. Even though they can't attack the carriers, they can attack all the things under the carriers.
Okay, it's all about the fight here. And Harouz has the advantage, man. He has the tech. He has more tech. Oh, this disruptor shot is gonna be juicy.
Ooh, there you go.
And
this could, this is gonna be a huge
he
difference
put himself
maker.
in a bad choke, and now I think he's dead. He went to that choke, took out big disruptor shots, and that's gonna end.
Right. And the carriers are just going to clean up everything now that most of the anti-air is down.
Neutrophil has a lot of money, but no gas, and that's a big problem for him. He's still not mining gas in the other bases, so there's still a chance for him to kind of do something here. It's really the 5 carriers is the issue.
Yeah, and he just doesn't have much to take them out with. He is making Void Rays, but he just has to catch up with quite a few of them.
I think you need mass stalkers to blink under these carriers.
Yeah, might be. I mean, as long as there isn't too much defending them underneath. I've just... You know, blink stalkers versus carriers is one of those things that, in theory, should work, but it is hard to pull off.
This is his chance. He has to clean out these carriers.
The
disruptor shots are beautiful.
There we go. Yep, and there we go with the Void Rays. They don't last long. 180 supply. Yeah, Harouz's supply just keeps going up, while Neutrophil's supply just keeps going down.
He needs to blink under these carriers, and then he can do this.
He does, and then... I mean, he does have +3 attack, but... Immediately having to just fall back. The shield battery, shield battery gets depowered.
On the ground units with those stalkers. He needed to focus on the carriers.
And look at this one Colossus that's just kind of joining with the carriers.
He has no gas. He needs gas on this other base.
Well,
but now there's a lot more carriers.
He needs a lot of things, but he's at half supply, so what he needs, I don't think he can get.
That's the end of his run. I don't see him coming back. He has no gas.
No, and yeah, you're not going to beat carriers with Zealous, that's for sure. More workers going down. He's going to try one last... Doesn't even blink. One carrier, bunch of interceptors going down, but that's going to be it. GG, WP. We have our first Code S Plus semi-finalist. Oh, boy. Okay. That was crazy. Here, let me bring this up. And got to get everyone back in, too. That was exhausting.
Wow.
All right. We have our first Code S Plus grand finalist. Congratulations to Harouz.
Thank you. That was so good.
That was
very good.
That was an unbelievable series. That was Harouz. I mean, had that been a best of 3, you would have taken it 2-0. Neutrophil making an amazing comeback, adjusting to your play style, putting cannons everywhere. You just constantly gave each other stuff to worry about, and after 4 matches without a single Stargate, you guys went carrier versus carrier, so that was an epic finish.
Yeah, I'm nervous now, you know.
You're nervous now. I bet the two of you were nervous a moment ago.
Let's get you on the camera since you're not.
Yeah, Harouz, would you be able to get your webcam going again? We want to see our first grand finalist here.
Yeah. While he's doing that, the big difference there was that main fight where Neutrophil got stuck and the disruptor just killed his army when he was getting stuck there in the base on the right. That was the killer. That kind of snowballed from there.
Yeah, I guess that was the when it was in his 5th base or 4th base, I guess. No?
Yeah, on the right.
Yeah, a little bit of everything. The third match, you know, the Neutrophil managed to see your proxy, managed to hold out against that. Next one, those Nexus snipes and the DTs were just horrific. But the investment ended up just being too much. Big thing I noticed, I mean, the two of you have fairly similar playstyles overall, but Harouz usually the first aggressor, Harouz usually ahead in economy and upgrades, but Neutrophil, you were almost always ahead in army supply. So, very interesting, kind of different flavors, the same sort of general style. You got any thoughts about those matches?
Me or Mr.
Whoever. I'm asking all around. You can jump in any time.
Yeah. Why don't you start and then Neutrophil can say something.
Okay, I think the third map when he saw my proxy, everything went wrong from there, and I know I lost at that moment, and especially when he killed all my my disruptors. In my 4th base, he killed all my disruptors by accident because I misread them. Then I know the game is over. So yeah. But in the final match, that was a very beautiful match. To be honest, it was the most intense match I ever played, the best PvP I ever played. It was beautiful.
Yeah, I kind of liked how kind of the matches went on. I tried to adjust to different things. That last match, that was a good macro game. I think if I transitioned to carriers or I was a little more aggressive earlier on, I think I could have been better. I remember mismicroing a specific that where I couldn't move to dodge the disruptor shots, but I think I played pretty okay. I think I just died to the carrier sword.
All right.
I went carrier because I saw that I cannot control my units when I see disruptors. Every time disruptor hits, I just get killed. So I thought going air is my best bet, so I did so, and I won.
Yep. Well, yeah, the carriers combined with the disruptors. That was a lot of stuff you were able to clear out in a row. So, yeah, I know it's getting a little bit late in some places.
Let's get going with the next match.
Yeah, let's go in with the next one. I'm not sure.
Later.
Yeah, sure. Not sure if we're going to be able to do the other semifinals. We'll definitely do this one.
You said cut off.
Yeah, sorry. I'm not sure if we'll have time for the second semifinals after this. We're gonna have to see.
Yeah.
Because I've got.
All right. Well, let's knock out this Lighthood game versus me. Let's do it.
Okay. Voice and camera.
Well, this is a best of 3, so.
Yeah, this one is just a best of 3.
The only problem is TVT.
You never know.
The good news is neither of us are like Hurting Time is a mech player, so if you have 2 mechs, it may take a while.
Hurting Time? Lighthood?
Hurting Time is a mech player, so
yeah, but he's not playing.
Is not. Lighthood is not. So
okay, got it.
It's not gonna be this. But yeah, let's get him. Let's get him in here. Let's get this game going. Oh, I don't see him on.
Yeah, let's see. This was for the previous one. He's joining up. Or at least he says he is. Oh, and let me make sure everything's been picked up. KJ, have you done your second veto?
Yeah, I'm done. I'm just waiting
here,
for the rest.
I guess I need to reload.
Oh, a third veto?
Okay.
Okay, we're ready. Ancient Gressvan is going to be game 1, I suppose.
Just got to get everyone connected to the right stuff. I'm going to bring up the maps again. Gressvan, Ancient Cistern, and possibly Royal Blood. Slate in Algeria, but we are playing earlier than usual.
Oh yeah, a lot earlier than usual just for him. Although the last game
well,
was
and
a
for
while.
Harouz. And Neutrophil to some extent, I know. Alright, and I'm also gonna take this time to just update the schedule. Okay, there we are. Lighthood is in game.
Okay, it's all you talking at this point.
Yes, it will be, and all me observing too.
So you just make sure you change the overlay, I suppose. That's the only thing that
I'm
screwed me up myself. You know, sometimes I'm like, oh, whoops.
Let's see who's available. Who is in party? And Discord. Alright, welcome Lighthood. I know we don't have a lot of time, so we'll make this quick. You guys have faced each other... You guys have not faced each other one-on-one before, because you're the champion from Code S.
Yeah,
so,
never. We've never faced.
Right, so we're going to be going in here. Honestly, you know, this is to get to the other semifinal match, so I'll tell you what, time constraints, and I've got a family dinner coming up in a little over an hour. So how about we just get to it?
All right.
I'm going back to the maps. Good luck to everyone. Maps, we are starting on Gressvan. Terran versus Terran. Let's get the webcams again and get me out of there. Okay. Lighthood says he needs to wait for just a moment. Let me know. All right, so Matheson said your army disappeared faster than probes from an assimilator. Maybe next time try not losing 97 zealots. Your build order was like watching a toddler try to build a Lego tower. Your 108 zealots were doing more harm than good. All right, Matheson, there we go. Okay. Recreate the lobby. Okay. Gresvin. Okay. And then I'll try Central. I remember that actually working a little bit better last time. Yeah, the match has not started yet. So we're trying a different server. This is exactly what everyone loves watching. Yeah, it's so weird. I think Algeria is closer to the eastern servers, but for some reason Central seems to run better. Nah. All right, let's get ready. We got to watch some Terrans pummeling each other before we start. Before we start. Okay. All right. So it sounds like you might get called over by a family member. We will see. If KJ wins this, we might go ahead and do the second semifinals. If Lighthood wins, he's probably got to step away. All right. We have a best of 3. In the lower right, we have our yellow Terran. He is
Freedom.
And in the upper left, his opponent, the red Terran. He is
Lighthood.
Alright. Both of them put in their supply depots at the top of the ramp, but Lighthood moving an SCV across the map. Now, I don't know, it's weird to theorize stuff outside of gameplay, but if things are busy back home, Lighthood might be trying to wrap this up in a real hurry. Lighthood, big fan of Reapers and very skilled with them, so mass proxy Reaper is not out of the question. Okay, he does start on a barracks back home. And yes, this is the first time they've played against each other in FSL, since Lighthood was in standard Code S instead of Code S+. Okay, bunch of SCVs, just kind of poking each other with their drills, and their claws, and their S's and their C's and their V's. Alright, yeah. Lighthood, whether he's in a hurry or not, he does usually like to start with more than one barracks. He really likes to do some damage and cause some chaos early on with the Reapers. Third barracks, there we go. And the rally lets us know he's planning to make use of these right away. But yeah, it's interesting. You know, someone lets you know that they're tired, you probably can guess that they're going to be interested in trying to end things fairly quickly. KJ, meanwhile, well, it's earlier here on Sunday. We don't usually do Sunday matches, but this one, we just wanted to make sure that everything got taken care of. He does only show one Reaper. I guess there was only that out anyway. Freedom, meanwhile, has his own Reaper at the top of the jump spot, which is nicely highlighted in neon. And here we go. Command center being built in the main, and a factory almost done. He might be able to do some good against these if he does get Hellions out. Right now, 2 Reapers to 3. I think KJ, yeah, here's what Lighthood loves to do. Delay in construction of things, especially the natural command center. Ooh, but he lets it sit down, lets it get quartered. First, the Reapers of Lighthood is going to go. Now we have 2 versus 2. KJ's Reapers are already a little bit hurt. Excellent grenade, bouncing them away. And this has a chance of snowballing a little bit. We have 4 Reapers on the map from Lighthood. KJ's Hellion going all the way to the other side of the map. And then turn it around, alright. Hello, Harouz. So we got a little back and forth in the middle right now, but Lighthood has a bit of an army advantage right now. KJ is... Well, actually, yeah, KJ Freedom is setting up a bunker. And here we go. 5 Reapers taking on the whole mineral line. They are backing up, kind of not jumping down. They're just continuing to move around, and this could be very, very costly for KJ. 11 SCVs have already been lost. Still have all 5 Reapers, and those things are going to heal on their own. Here comes a siege tank. It might get sniped down. It does get bounced away. I don't think he's going to want to siege that, since they can move in past its minimum range. Very wise, just going ahead and sieging it on the high ground, where it can reach anywhere else that the Reapers are going to try to hit. Lighthood almost done with a tech lab on the factory, already making a 3rd command center. He knows he's going to have a worker lead right now. Right now we are at 15 SCVs for KJ Freedom to 37 for Lighthood. Army supplies pretty close. But yeah, these Reapers, they're not going to be able to do much within range of the siege tank. KJ crushed Lighthood, leaving their hopes of victory in the dust. I don't know, Matheson. That seems jumping to conclusions a little bit. Reapers on patrol right here. It's kind of like watching a lava lamp, isn't it? It's kind of, or an ant war. I love watching ant wars. All right, I think they saw that Liberator moving out. They're checking the natural again. KJ, tends to really enjoy a good Widow Mine drop, but I don't think he's going that direction right now. Lighthood is moving some Marines over to where the Liberator is headed. And here we go. Immediately start shooting it before it can get into liberation mode. And it heads out. 2 Reapers from KJ Freedom. One of them goes down. Other one escaping to try to heal. Harouz says he is at 3.9k as far as his MMR goes. Climbing ladder made of cheese. It's Gouda Beach. Yeah, thank you, Matheson. That's... Gotta program with the dad jokes, huh? And the Liberator is seeing if it can find another spot to drop. Meanwhile, Lighthood is sending a medevac drop over, not reacting to this Liberator before it starts hitting. And these Marines are going to try to just, well, circle around the circle. And here come the Reapers. They managed to kill some Marines, but they are a lot of them going down themselves. So a lot's going to depend on how this drop goes. KJ has been catching up in worker supply. Actually, they're getting pretty close to even as far as SCVs go. Lighthood not drop it immediately. I think he wants to know where the tank is. Oh, but he does not get close enough. All of those Marines go down. Going into liberation mode just for the sake of one very special Marine. I'm not sure what KJ's... Oh, that's Lighthood's medevac going home. Lighthood definitely has an army advantage here, and he is moving out 20 Marines, 2 siege tanks. Ooh, and I don't know about this. I don't know if he wanted to show all of those Marines when he went to kill the Liberator. So if he's going to do anything with them, he probably should soon before KJ's Freedom gets ready to welcome them. Both of them researching +1 attack. Lighthood already has stim. KJ Freedom stim is just starting. And yeah, Lighthood will be moving out. Lighthood has taken his third. KJ has not yet. He is just putting down a sensor tower. And honestly, the SCV making the sensor tower might see the enemy army before they show up on the radar. More siege tanks coming out from KJ. And that Liberator is going to be very handy. Especially against the tanks, if you can get close enough. And here we go. Stimmed Marines flooding in. Attacking every which way. Tanks do a pretty good job warding them away, but now he's got tanks of his own. As long as he makes sure they have vision. Yep, one of KJ's tanks already taking some shells. It goes down. The orbital command center goes down. That's brutal. KJ getting a fusion core, probably to give this Liberator his zones a little bit more range. Lighthood ahead in both army and workers. Alright, getting ready for a nice Doom drop. A lot like what he himself was facing in some of the previous matches against Vales. And there we go. We have the medevac boost. One of the siege tanks just kind of following after them. Look at all these missile turrets that were standing right there. He gets one siege tank and a number of Marines out, but he definitely lost some of his attack force there. But at the same time, as these Liberators are facing these and not quite within range of them, there is a siege tank and more Marines hitting where the third was. Just got 4 Marines here. They're going after the workers. So a good cleanup from KJ Freedom, but his supply is starting to fall further behind. Lighthood very much remaining the aggressor, straight from when he first sent those Reapers out. There's KJ, putting down the sieges and the liberation zones. Very well done. The Marines don't quite manage to take out the Liberator, so the Liberator does take out a siege tank. And then we've got some medevacs that got a little bit ahead of the push. So the saving grace was how well that drop got cleaned up. Lighthood, yeah, he does have a 4th now. Whereas KJ is just about to take his Brood War-styled command center down to his 3rd again. Checking out the upgrades, I don't see anything researching in the Fusion Core, or that has been researched from there. We just have Marine upgrades. Lighthood has combat armor, and I think KJ Freedom might have forgotten to research that. But they do both have stim. And Lighthood, well, one thing KJ Freedom is ahead on, he has infantry armor. Alright, another drop, and again, those medevacs are going to take a lot of hits for the missile turrets. However, more siege tanks and Marines come down from the last time. He did, however, sacrifice 2 Vikings that flew right over those missile turrets. And right now, the attack is just coming from here. He is keeping those Marines out of range, the tanks and Liberators. However, there are some other Marines here to clean them up. Now I've just got the tanks to worry about. The Liberators will take care of that. Ooh, I don't think he meant to move his Marines that close to there. He does save one of the Stargates, which was taking damage. Now, TVT, you want air units. You always want some air units to give your tanks a little bit of extra vision so that they can use their full range. Oh, that Liberator goes down right away. That medevac goes down. It had 3 units in it. 2 more Liberators go down. Those commands were kind of fatal towards KJ Freedom. That was 3 flyers that got taken down for nothing. Now he's managing to take down a siege tank. His other tanks are on the low ground and have to fire up, although his structure, his orbital command is going to provide vision there. And now, once again, he finds himself having to clean everything up. Vales and Harouz in the chat, talking about how you like to sum up oracles and priestesses and such. No oracles in this game, since there's no Protoss player. Ooh, I think he's just going to land those and try to take out... Oh, the mules ended up expiring anyway, right before they landed. Ooh, he could potentially stop an upgrade, but I think that'll take a little while. Yeah. Oracles, the Oracles are interesting. The Void Rays are especially interesting, as they're supposed to be a ship that was developed jointly by the Ire Protoss and the Nerazim. So it was sort of a symbolic collaboration between them. And you have Dark Templar in there channeling energy, void energy, through the prism. So I like that concept. I like the idea that it's technology and psionic power, psionic power just sort of being amplified. If you haven't read the field manual, it's a good read. Alright, here we go. We're over 15 minutes into this game. I think that orbital is going to go down immediately after completing. Doesn't matter if it takes off or not. Here we go. KJ Freedom moving his army to meet the army of Lighthood, who's over 60 supply ahead. The Marines get ahead of the siege tanks. And then Lighthood's Marines snipe another orbital. This match is not looking good for KJ right now. I think it hasn't been for a little bit, but this seems like it's going to be the final straw here. Already a drop coming in as well. Lighthood making sure to hit as many spots at once as he can. Siege tanks are tricky to get close to without Liberators, but Liberators have a tough time getting close if there are Vikings hitting them. Ooh. Oh, look at that. The medevac doesn't quite die to those missile turrets. It does manage to drop 8 Marines right behind the workers and the engineering bay. Lighthood has a pretty good contain here. Right now, KJ Freedom is only mining from maybe, well, one real base. This one is almost out of minerals. There we go. Siege tank does some cleaning up. But the army just keeps coming in. What do we have for KJ? 7 siege tanks, that's not bad, but 19 Marines, 2 Marauders, 2 Vikings, and no medevacs right now. So he's going to have to be especially mindful of when he sieges. The Vikings are landed from Lighthood. He is doing all the damage he can pull off. Even without Viking support, the orbital fails to fly away, and we have the GG. Lighthood in control that whole match. Starting with all those Reapers, and then just keeping the pressure on throughout. Now for maps. Next map will be Ancient Cistern. We're going to get right into that. We're figuring something out here. Okay. Alright. Yeah, here. We'll, so, yeah, we actually have to cancel out of this time. We're going to try to figure out something else to move on with this, but it looks like there's just a little bit too much going on at home for Lighthood, so we're going to pick up on this, and we're going to be as flexible as we can here. And meanwhile, yeah, I've got some family stuff of my own to take care of, so I will keep everyone updated on the schedule, and then we will see what happens next. Thank you very much, everyone who's watching. Sorry we had to cut this a little bit short, but sometimes life happens. All right.